Hi, I've just done this sketch of like a weir waterfall in Ireland. I'm not sure exactly where it is. It's another photograph supplied by Andy Byrne. I'll show you it. Here, let's come in. Oh, you can't see too many reflections on there. But that is it. What we've got, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do a slavish copy of it. What we've got is a lot of tumbling water, very fast flowing, coming over here, down there. In the back here, loads of rocks. But it's just a way of using the card to show, to show how to scrape out these rocks once you put the colour on. It's a great way of painting. But I know I do mask the use of these cards, and I don't see how you can see it. Let's bring that camera around here. I'll just show you the actual strokes that I use. This is not going to be a good angle to paint at. No, I just use the card and I scrape the paint up. Model with it up. Can you see that? Yeah. I was holding it at the tip. I would hold it closer to the blade end. It's a bit of old plastic card, the type you get with your credit cards and various things you belong to, the RAC, the Camping and Caravanning Club, whatever it is, store cards. If they're useless, they have another life as paintbrushes. Look, the model, and it just scrapes the paint out of the paper, and it forms so you get a light top and the dark shadow bottom. That's all it does, and it lifts out bits of tree trunk and branches and stuff. Very, very useful technique. I'm going to guess this landscape behind here. So what I'll do is I'll clean my palette, which I should have done first, and then we'll crack on. I'll just move this camera round to get it sorted out again. To there. That'll do. So I'll clean it. My usual palettes of lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber and Payne's grey and burnt sienna. I'll spray the paint with a bit of water just to start the softening up process. Saves you scrubbing away initially. So I'll take the excess moisture off the centre of my mixing area here. Right, okay, very little sky, so I'll get that in to start with. So just a light, well, I'll use raw sienna. So I'll wet the paper all over. It's going to be a wetting wet. I don't know whether that water is diluting the carbon from the carbon pencil. Right, let's just let that soak in a bit. Get a nice and clean, well, dry piece of toweling. You need a lot of water when you're working with watercolour. So I'll just take off some of that excess. I don't know if Andy's seen the one I did yesterday of the sort of semi-derelict, well, it looked like a derelict house on the coast, the Wicklow coast, North Beach. It wasn't easy, I have to say. It didn't take that long, but there were quite a lot of issues to solve with it. So I'll give the painting an overall coat of burnt sienna, look nice and loose there, and a bit of raw sienna. So I'll this will all dry lighter than I put it on, just a background. There's quite a bit of yellow ochre in this tumbly bit here. Right, okay. What reflections there are in this area, this is the top bit of the stream coming before it drops down, will show a bit darker, and this quite dark in here where it's in the shadow. It's reflecting the shadow of all this undergrowth and so on. So I'll put in a bit of background, a bit of blue, a bit of lemon yellow, just, oh, it must be a bit stronger than that. Bit of burnt sienna in there as well. So just they're nice and strong, really. And vary the colour as we come down into this area. Bit of sienna in there, just ring the changes, just get a lot of colour. Whoops, my screen's turned off. Into screen, into save, battery saver. Oops, go on. That's it. Right, we've got lots of colours in here, so I'll put some darks in as well. Bit of red in there, let's get that in. And I'll superimpose the rocks over that, and the trees and stuff. Lots of rocks in here, so it's going to be my tree area. So let's put in some early rocks. So I'll use a bit of blue, a bit of red, a bit of burnt sienna. It's quite dark. These rocks are very dark in the middle distance here. So let's just get them in. And then a bit coming down here, all the way along there. Red. That water comes down there. So these nice rocks in here, plenty of colour. And a couple of rocks in here. I'm not copying this slavishly, I'm not doing a portrait of anything in particular. I just want to start etching out that now on my little card. Reclip the paper, which is growing. It'll work quite quickly now. Get onto those rocks before this paper dries off too much. So we'll just catching the high spots of the rock, preserving the bit underneath, because that is our shadow. And it could have been a bit darker. I might even do them again. But here, this is under all of the growth of this undergrowth. Sorry, I'm making not much sense. And then this is all in the shadow here, but just to show that. Right, now I'm going to go in to do these rocks here now. And these are much warmer. So blue, burnt sienna, raw sienna. Got all that in there. Bit of yellow. So just mixing all these colours. These rocks have got a yellowy tinge to them. I'll get some dark in there. Loads of colour in these rocks, and enough for shadows under here. And I'll try to remember to show you exactly what I'm doing. And get some more dark in there. Right, okay. Card. Now, these are, well, I'm just going to copy more or less what's there. And just a high spot on this is shadow. This is in shadow, this bit here, but look. And then we'll. And this. another rock over there. Oops, dropped my tool. Right, okay, so we'll just get right, see that? Okay, that will do for that. For the time being, unless I think of anything else to do. Right, I'll give the paper another re-clip and we'll put in the background while that's drying off. I can put some darker bits back in that and in here as well. Oh, I've got to do some rocks there, haven't I? I've added these just to make a bit of a statement there. So let's just get those in. Bit of yellow, or raw sienna should I say. Although you're not going to see a lot of that because it's going to cover that with a mount, but so that will do for that. Now we're going to have some fun with it, with all this foliage now. So some nice bright greens. So I'll use a bit of Payne's grey, bit of burnt sienna. Right, so let's just get some of this in here. A lot of stuff going on here. But dry brushing now because the paper is fairly dry, so put in the shadowy undergrowth here. And a counter change, meaning the light on the top of the rocks will show a bit more because of the dark I'm putting in over the top of this. Bit of yellow. I'm going to do some of this in. Probably started off a bit too low down on those, so let's just put that back. That's it. Okay. All helps. I'll do the detail when it's dry, like the twigs and branches and stuff. Right, look at some nice colours. Bit of red in there, why not? As I'm coming towards the foreground, it's just warming up a little bit. It looks like a winter scene. The sort of evergreens will show green, obviously, but a lot of bare branches. So we'll just show a bit of orange. Coming up here. I'd use a bit more colour than usual. Now we'll get this dark. I'm putting it in dark because it's the photograph on Facebook is dark. So where you see dark, paint dark. Where you see light, paint light. Don't try and justify it. If you're working for photographs, you need to work out your lights and darks, like I'm doing here. So as the lighter, the darker I make the undergrowth here, the brighter will the tops of these rocks will show. And the paper's drying lovely now. Might even be a wall there, but I can't see it from looking at my screen on my tablet. Alright, let's just get that in there. Alright, now trunks, just a bit of texture on them. Right, I haven't even looked at the waterfall yet. Just get this nice, get these nice brighter greens, warmer. Alright, and we'll put in some bit of stuff up here. And now we'll do some stuff with the nail, with a bit of rigor. Clean my brush, and I'll get one of my riggers, whatever one that turns up. It's fine. I'll use the big one. Let's turn my tablet back on. Right, now we want to lift out this bigger one here. Right, get some burnt sienna and ultramarine. I'll just start putting in some nice trunks. A lot of trunks and branches are green, grey. But we know that, don't we? I'm not going to put them all in, I'm just going to, just a few. You need a lot of water for this because the rigger doesn't hold that much. Oh, let's get you up. Don't like that. That's too even, yeah, that's too straight. Something like that. And we'll put some in over there. I'm using dark green here because that would be more accurate. I don't know if I'll put the overhead ones in, I don't know if I can be bothered to do those. They're not essential to the composition. I might put a bit of that in. Just the edge of the rigger there, just to give a more pleasant shape. Just some bit heavy that. Now this is only a demo, it's not a masterpiece, a work of art. They take a few minutes longer. Right, okay, that we can probably put a little bit more dark in here with the rigger. Darkish greeny. Cover up bits you didn't like, I don't like. Okay, well that gives an idea. Now we've got to concentrate on this water. Right, now with my hake, cleanish hake, I'm going to put in this, I'll just clean the palette. Anybody seen my toilet to show? Right, well, I was looking for that at the moment, right by my left elbow. Right, just clean up the working surface then. Apologies if you hear the odd swear word under my breath. Right, okay. Now I meant to put in a rock there, so I'm going to have to put it in now. I've got this. Put those in there. Okay, so that's tumbling water there. Okay. Now I just, with the card, I use a slightly narrower piece of card. Oh, there it is. It's just a bit of that. Just put in just a bit of scraping. I'm trying to show you, but I can't help masking. Right, now I'm going to dry that, so take your headphones off right now. I don't want any of that to move, so we've got some, let's put this dry brush in of colour. There's burnt sienna, which really reflects the background here, seems to, so we'll add there, and we'll have a bit of darker. Right, okay, and then we've got this bluey actually more ochre than anything else, isn't it? So we'll put it in. But it's sort of reflecting what's behind it. Okay, so that's all right. That's got a bit of shape to the water coming down there. It's not perfect. Now put in some yellow ochre again in this white water. Just a little bit. I'm just putting, it's there, so I'm just going to put it in. I'm just going to, there, just a little bit there. And then we've got this grey background. Oops. It's all nice and dark. all dark here. And a bit more dark. A bit of ochre dark. Well, sienna, shall I say. Just trying to show the shape of that. Right, I don't think I could get much better than that really. I've just put in some darker shadow on the rocks here and there. These aren't in the photograph, but I just put these in for effect. And then a bit of darker stuff under here. Right, that we're doing. That needs to be reinstated there, that's got lost a little bit. Let's just. Okay. That is very dark there. I'll put that in as very dark. And there's a bit dark in there. And a bit dark there. Right, okay, I can't do much more than that, I don't think. That is probably just a bit too even along there, but I don't want to change it and ruin it. So here we have the calmer water. There's probably just a little, that ochre I could go just a little bit over a bit more. Right, that's it. Quick while you're ahead, if we are ahead. I'll sign it and I'll put it in a mount and then we'll see what it's like. Always sign your work, however bad you might think it is. And there we are. Gonna have some lunch. Well, there we are. That's my version of what I saw, what I thought I saw. There it is. You see that? Oh, I'll move the camera around a bit, see if I can square it up. That's better. Right, I'll zoom in on some of that. The rocks there, probably the rocks are darker than that. I'll quickly, bear with me, I'll just zoom out a bit. I'll see if I can just put some dark. I'll use my 1/2 inch flat. I'll just use a bit of light red and a bit of the ultramarine. Let's just. Just highlight these darker rocks. There's a big one in there. Okay, that'll have to do. Right, okay, there we are. So just made it a little bit darker. And I'll zoom out again. And then move the camera around. And there you have it. A waterfall. I'll find out what it's called from Andy and post it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I showed enough of the card work, because I don't want you to be in too much as to how I do it. But really, just get yourself a plastic credit card. There's something else here, House of Fraser, whatever that is. Nice spindly plastic card. Cut it and practice with it yourself. You'll soon get the hang of it. Put the dark paint on and then scrape it out while it's still wet. That could have been I think I've got a bit heavy there. But thanks for watching. Bye bye.